beer in a park, violent criminal that you are, very evil, taxpayer money well spent, and now years later they've come and arrested you again for it.
Yes, sir, that's correct. 12 years later, they arrested me for it. I was actually making a complaint with the sheriff's office, and they came back out to while I was trying to get on my motorcycle, and they said, excuse me, we need to talk to you, we need to see your ID again. And that's when I was surrounded by the thugs and was...
Well, they showed you who's boss, boy. You don't exercise your First Amendment and don't exercise anything else because police, don't worry. It's not just that pesky First Amendment you get to get rid of. It's all the private property and due process and all the good things about America. So good job. Oh, yeah, that's a classic. So, and I guess the judge is going to go along with that, everybody. Why not just plant child porn on your computer while they're at it, you know?
What it ended up happening is when I went to court, Alex, I asked the judge, I said, how can it slip by the system for over 12 years? Because I'm not bragging about it and I'm not proud of it, but under Florida law, if you get caught driving on a suspended license, you go to jail. Well, between that time frame, 12 years ago, and this, if we go 15, 16 years into the future from that 12-year point, I had been arrested for driving while license suspended or revoked. I found it out when they do the NCIC or see that this 12-year-old warrant never existed. I was cleared to go. And then all of a sudden, a year and a half ago, this warrant pops up out of the blue. So
yeah, what they're doing is integrating them all together, and now they can just pick you up and claim you have a warrant and disappear you. Last time I checked, Texas, 11% of the population has warrants out. That's who we are. We're a joke. We have the biggest prison population in the world because we're run by criminals. And hey, don't worry. Those of you that haven't woken up yet, you're going to get everything you want. You're going to get all the curses that come with tyranny. So I hope you enjoy your petty power trips, minions, because it's not going to last. Let's go ahead. Thank you, David, evil person. Let's talk to Brian in Arizona. You're on the air, sir.
Hey, Alex, how you doing? Just wanted to call in. I have another unfortunate story of the growing police state for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I got pictures to prove this one, so unlike the last story that we don't know if it's real or not, this one's confirmed. But I got to give you a quick background on the situation. So I'm a college student at Arizona State University, and at the end of each school year, we have a student-run thing called the Undie Run, and it's kind of a silly event, but you know, it's for the students, and it's at the recreation field every year.
So let me guess, people are now being charged with indecent exposure for an underwear run.
Not quite, but they're getting, you know, grabbed to the ground and wrestled by pot-belly pedophile cops. So, you know.
Well, you don't want to excite them like that.
Well,
you don't want to get children running around in front of them either. They'll go into piranha mode. But so what happened?
Yeah, so quick background. For the first 3 years I was here, I just graduated, so I'm done there. But, you know, it was great. You know, there were limited cops, and the only reason they were there was to kind of stand around.
But now it's the new economy, so it's like cockroaches in an inner-city kitchen at 3 a.m.
Oh, I mean, it was so bad. I was outraged. And
all right, so there's loving enforcers running around. What happened?
Well, so it used to be at the recreation field, and you know, this year it was different. You know, we hear, oh, it's at the Lot 59 parking lot. So everyone's a little confused. So you know, I'm walking there, and I'm just thinking, whatever.
Oh, they misdirected you, and a good blow against the victory. The milk cow Americans that feed the parasite. Oh, yes.
We're on the march. The empire's on the...
All right, caller, I held you over because I wanted to hear what happened when the potbellies attacked. And again, I have a little bit of a potbelly myself. Not much of one now because I've lost 42 pounds, but I'm not attacking people that have potbellies. I just want to know why all the new cops have potbellies and the TSA all have potbellies, women included, and look like men. And I want to know why I have to bow down and worship them. I mean, it's the new class system. Like, you're a bureaucrat, you're God. You work for the government, you're God. You're a citizen paying their salary, you're trash. I'm sick of it. And I know I shouldn't be upset they admit they've set up re-education camps for us and want to take our guns and want to secretly arrest us and kill us. I mean, I understand I'm radical and an alarmist, that I've been absolutely on target and everything's coming true just like I said. I apologize. I'm a bad person. Let's go to John, then Derek, Then Donald and others. John in Texas, you're on the air, sir. I hope you're not concerned about the state of the government, because the founding fathers said you better watch the government, and they were bad people. You're not about to call in and support the evil founders, are you?
I'm going to support them all the way, Alex.
Oh!
Alex, I wanted to talk about the article you had on there on InfoWars about the Russian troops coming to America. And on the picture you had, the last two pictures you had on there in various articles, they had pictures of, I guess, Russian troops marching through Moscow. And I guess they were recent pictures because they had the new AK-47s with the plastic stocks. But why were they marching in front of red flags in the background? If communism is dead in Russia, well, how come they have the red flags up there?
They never took them down. They created that new Russian flag for state events and showed it to people. The red star stayed on, all of it, and it's exactly what it is.
It's the same with China, too. They still got all their communist trappings up there. When they have military parades, they still have pictures of Mao. I mean, nothing's really changed.
Oh, no, they admit that. I mean, China is 100% run by the Communist Party. That's not debated.
And another thing I wanted to ask you, do you think it's some kind of sick globalist joke that they brought those Russian troops into Colorado, because that was where, in the movie Red Dawn, that was where the Russians first came in there?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. No, listen, it's all psychological warfare to acclimate. I mean, I've gotten to where, oh, they're going to put chips in the troops. Well, I covered that was coming 10 years ago, so it's okay. Oh, yeah, they're training troops from 15 nations to do door-to-door gun confiscation. Here's the FEMA document. It's no big deal. Oh, re-education camps. Oh, they confirm it. Big deal. So they're spying on all of us without warrants. Yeah, they're taking the troops' death benefits. When they die, they don't pay the widow, even though they took money out of their check for 20 years. Oh, that's no big deal. Yeah, the foreign banks, they run everything now. Yeah, they got neighborhood spies now. Well, you know, that's just the way it is. Everything's fine, though, you know?
Alex, back in the early 60s, I read a book called None Dare Call It Treason by John Stormer. And in the book, they said he laid out the plans just before World War II. World War II was just kicking into high gear. And he said that one of the Dulles brothers laid out the plans, and he said they're going to merge the communist and the capitalist system together. And it's been done, and they put everybody to sleep. Everybody thinks that, you know, communism don't exist, but while they're implementing it inside the United States.
And they use the initial threat of communism to get America to get rid of its Bill of Rights and Constitution in the name of beating it. And then they come back and take our rights, and then it's not for communism anymore, it's for being a patriot. Just like they get you to, okay, take my rights away because of Al-Qaeda, and then you're like, but wait, Al-Qaeda works for you now. And they're like, Al-Qaeda's good, you're the one that's bad. Homeland Security, get him. He has a John Deere cap on. I mean, literally. And a lot of these good old boys who love to grovel up to and you know, cram their noses up underneath the New World Order's patoot, they will sit there and denounce their families and cry as their son is taken away with an American flag out front of the house, made in China by slaves he bought at Walmart, because their whole world, they think patriotism is worshiping the foreign banks that have hijacked America. They just can't get it. I mean, I watch the general public grovel to military and police, and a lot of the military and police are good people, but there's the specialized bureaucratic political police that they're now creating in every level of law enforcement, and people will just grovel and grovel and grovel and grovel and grovel and grovel and grovel. I mean, you'll be there, like my parents, it's not even groveling, they're just real polite. And they would sit there while these agents were giving him 20 questions at the beach. And the guy was getting off on my mother's submissiveness. And my mother's a really nice, aggressive, smart person, but she's a Christian, and she's real into being calm and nice and ladylike. And the more she sat there, and the guy was assessing him and asking him questions, and we're not here to steal turtles, are we? There's little kids sitting there, you know, with eating chips, and we're just sitting there in lawn chairs in America, and he's having this fantasy that we're bad and he's good, and at a certain point I'm like, just get out of here, leave me alone, you America killing slug. But, I mean, again, this nanny state, they have this delusion that they're keeping us safe and they're doing all this good, and they love their little uniforms and their outfits and all these nanny state women they've got in uniform with the little hats and their hair all done, and they got something to prove, and they're going to show you, lady, the New World Order's got something to prove. You're going to probably die young from what they've been putting in the water and the food, you moron. I don't have time to play your childlike games with you anymore. John, I appreciate your call. I just can't handle it anymore. They're idiots. I don't even hate them. They're idiots. They're morons. They're children. I'm done. Excuse me. Let's talk to Derek in New York. That's therapy for me. Derek in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
How you doing, Alex?
It's all coming true. I guess I'm doing all right. At least we were here to head them off at the pass. Maybe we can stop them. I don't know.
Yeah. I got a quick story to tell you. I don't know if you heard, but I saw it a couple of days ago about this woman in Florida who got arrested for defending herself against her husband. Now, the story goes that this lady, her husband has a history of domestic violence with her, and she got sick of it. So he chased after her. She ran into the garage, grabbed a gun, and shot it straight up into the air.
No, I saw that. Hey, guys, a woman arrested for warning shot. No. That's what they said they do with the Trayvon Martin deal. That's why they hyped it up, regardless of what you think of that case, is to now say if you do a warning shot, which I think is totally reasonable. I mean, it was in her garage, that you shouldn't get in trouble for that. I mean, warning shot. Unfortunately, I understand not wanting to kill your husband. But if you're scared enough to grab a gun, funny thing is, she probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble if she'd have shot him. No, I did see that. I didn't even get to it. Give us your take on it.
Yeah, she got 20 years. They gave her 20 years for shooting a warning shot at a guy who's known, who he even said later, like, yo, I was going to put my hands on her. I was going to put my hands on my wife. And I
think, guys, type that in. Woman gets 20 years for firing a warning shot. I think they even said in the news, because I only scanned it for like 1 minute, that the judge and the jury are probably being real, hard on her because of, the frowning upon the use of guns in defense. But I did see that just a few days ago. You're absolutely right. And that's the new America.
The kicker is that the same prosecutor that prosecuted this woman is the prosecutor that's I can't talk about that. That's doing Zimmerman right now. The same lady.
Yeah, there it is. New stand your ground case, not for Florida woman given 20 years. And let's scroll down more. And it says right here, the Trayvon Martin case and Florida stand your ground law have brought into sharp relief yet again, this time in a Jacksonville courtroom where a woman who said she fired a warning shot to ward off an abusive husband was sentenced to 20 years in prison. My gosh. I mean, how many people have had a gun go off on accident cleaning it? I mean, I haven't, but I know people that have. And it just goes on. Yeah, I saw that article. What do you think of that?
I'm beyond upset about that, because I'm like, wow, she was in a messed up relationship, and she didn't even shoot the guy. She didn't kill him or nothing like that. She put the shot in, she shot in the sky. She's getting 20 years. Even her mother came on, was on TV in Florida. She came on and confronted the prosecutor. It's like, are you serious? In so many ways. So, are you serious? My daughter's going to get 20 years? She said, that's unbelievable. There's no way she should get 20 years for something. Yeah,
it's Marissa Alexander, 31. Well, I got to say, statistically, the courts are tougher on black people. And I don't get into the whole culture of victimology, but it is true that there is walking while black, driving while black, and there's that idea that black people are somehow, evil and deserve it. And I guess because she's a black lady is why she's going to get 20 years. I tell you, it's pretty sick. 20 years for firing a gun in the air. Yeah, I saw that. There it is.
And can I say one more thing? One more thing about the police state in New York City?
Sure.
All right, this happened a couple of days ago. I'll make this real short. I was on the train. I take the train a lot. I live in Queens. And these two off-duty cops come on. They're off-duty. You can tell they're cops. They have on the pants. We all know. They're on the train. I'm listening to them talk. And I'm hearing them talk. And they're driving the N-bomb a lot. One guy was Puerto Rican. Another guy was like, he might have been Jamaican or whatever. They work in the Bronx or whatever. And then one of them work in the city. But anyway, they were talking, and they were just talking about and laughing about this, how they choked out one guy, how they, choke slammed another guy, how it was so much fun, as though the dude was begging for his life, and, they snapped some guy's shoulder up. I'm like looking at them, because I've been listening to you since I was 20 years old. I'm 32 now. So everything you said is what you've been saying led up to this moment. I'm like, wow. And they're supposed to be serving protecting us, and they're